The year is 1863. The nation is at war with itself. In New York City, tensions are running high. The Civil War rages on, but its battles feel far removed from the bustling streets of Manhattan. Yet, beneath the surface of daily life, a storm is brewing. A storm of anger, resentment, and simmering racial prejudice. The city, a melting pot of immigrants and the working class, is about to be consumed by one of the darkest chapters in its history, the draft riots. The air is thick with the summer heat. The stench of poverty and overcrowding hangs heavy in the slums of the 5 Points. The Civil War, now in its third year, casts a long shadow over the city. The newspapers are filled with casualty reports, and the constant drumbeat of war weighs heavily on the minds of New Yorkers. Unbeknownst to them, a new law, the Enrollment Act of 1863, is about to ignite the city and expose the raw divisions within American society. The Enrollment Act, passed by Congress in March 1863, mandates conscription for the Union Army. For the first time, citizens are being forced into military service. The act is met with immediate resistance, particularly among the working class of New York. Many view the war as a rich man's war, poor man's fight. The act includes a provision that allows men to buy their way out of service for $300, a significant sum at the time. This provision is seen as deeply unfair by the working class, who cannot afford such a sum. They feel betrayed by their government, forced to fight and die in a war they feel no stake in. Resentment simmers. The city is a tinderbox, waiting for a spark. That spark comes on July 13, 1863. The first day of the draft lottery is held in New York City. The drawing of names, a random selection that will send men to the battlefields, is seen as a death sentence by many. Anger boils over. Protests erupt across the city. Demonstrations quickly escalate into full-blown riots. The city descends into chaos. The initial target of the rioters' fury is anything and everything associated with the draft. Draft offices are ransacked, their records set ablaze. The homes of wealthy citizens, those perceived as benefiting from the war, are attacked. Mobs roam the streets, their anger growing with each passing hour. What begins as a protest against the draft quickly transforms into something far more sinister. As the violence spirals, so too does the brutality. The rioters, fueled by rage and alcohol, are no longer content with destroying property. They turn their fury on anyone they perceive as their enemy. The city becomes a battleground, the streets stained with the blood of innocent victims. The fabric of society unravels as the city is consumed by the flames of mob rule. Section 4. Terror in the streets, the racial backdrop of the draft riots. The darkest chapter of the draft riots is the racial violence that explodes across the city. Black New Yorkers, already facing discrimination and prejudice, become the primary targets of the rioters' rage. Many white laborers view black Americans as competition for jobs, blaming them for their economic hardship. The emancipation of enslaved people in the South further fuels their anger, as they fear an influx of freed slaves will further undercut their wages. Black-owned businesses and homes are destroyed. The Colored Orphan Asylum, a symbol of hope and refuge for black children, is burned to the ground. Innocent black citizens are hunted, beaten, and lynched. The riots expose the deep racial divisions that plague American society, revealing the ugly undercurrent of hatred that festers beneath the surface. Section 5. The Republic stands, restoring order to New York. As the violence reaches its peak, the city's authorities seem powerless to stop it. The police force, outnumbered and overwhelmed, is unable to contain the rioters. New York City teeters on the brink of anarchy. It is only with the arrival of federal troops, fresh from the battlefields of Gettysburg, that order is restored. The soldiers, hardened by war, waste no time in putting down the rebellion. They fire on the mobs, dispersing them with ruthless efficiency. Martial law is declared, and slowly, painfully, the city begins to recover. The draft riots, a horrific eruption of violence and hatred, are finally brought to an end. Section 6. Scars on the City, the enduring legacy of the draft riots. The draft riots leave an indelible scar on New York City. The official death toll is estimated to be over 100, but the true number is likely much higher. The riots expose the deep social, economic, and racial tensions that exist within American society. They serve as a stark reminder of the fragility of order and the ever-present threat of mob violence. The riots also force the nation to confront the issue of racial injustice. The violence inflicted on Black New Yorkers highlights the urgent need for equality and justice for all citizens. The legacy of the draft riots serves as a cautionary tale, a reminder of the importance of addressing social inequities and combating racial prejudice. The draft riots of 1863 remain a dark chapter in New York City's history. It is a story of anger, resentment, and the devastating consequences of unchecked mob violence. But it is also a story of resilience, of a city that, despite its wounds, manages to rebuild and move forward. The riots stand as a reminder of the importance of unity, tolerance, and the pursuit of justice for all. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to History Untold for more fascinating stories from the past.